Hello my friends, I'm Ellen, and if you are new here, welcome, and if you are not, welcome back to my channel, because today we're going to be diving into part 1 of the Chaos to Calm challenge for the end of 2023. Let's do it. I am a burnout and stress management coach, Notion nerd, and in this series of videos, I'm going to be walking you through a little mini challenge heading into 2024 to really just help us go from chaos to calm, because I know the holiday season can be chaotic, but I also know that for a lot of us, we want to start the new year strong, and these are some of the things that I'm doing to help me do exactly that. I plan on going a whole other direction with this first video in the series, but frankly, I've been a little sick lately, and the idea of doing some of the other stuff I have planned didn't sound great today. So instead, we're gonna go ahead and start our Chaos to Calm challenge with creating a vision board, because I love creating vision boards for the new year. I'm sharing all of my Canva templates down below, and I say all because I have a widescreen display, so I'm gonna share my widescreen Canva template as well as some other vision boarding Canva templates depending upon your style and your aesthetic, and you're gonna see kind of how I go about building mine and then also where I end up putting mine. So let's go ahead and jump in. So first and foremost, I'm going to pull up all of the different vision board templates that I have in Canva. I have one that's kind of an older one that I used in 2021 that's pretty simple, this one right here. I also have a smaller screen version of the one that I'm going to be working on, but as I said, I have a widescreen display, so this is going to be the one that I'm going to be working out of today. It's definitely a lot bigger than the other ones because, again, I got like a 32-inch display. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to delete all of the images in here that I used for last year's vision board. I still like the layout, so I want to keep the layout the same. I'm just clicking into each image and just deleting it so that it's left with a nice blank space. So now that we've done all of that, I'm just going to go ahead and move my logo over because I want this to take a more prominent central location in the vision board this year. And now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to change some of these phrases to kind of fit what I'm going for this year. All of my values are on this screen. That's one of the big ways in which I use the text in my vision board is to display my values. But then I'm just kind of going through and I'm trying to figure out what are the other themes that I want to prominently be displayed this year. I've already decided my word for 2024 is going to be trust. So I definitely want trust to be heavily displayed inside of here and really just kind of focusing on this is the year. This is the year I'm going for it. This is the year that I'm really trying to take my business full time to really just get back on track with my health, to get outside more, to make more friendships and more connections, to get back into dating, all of the things. And I really want those things to stand out not only in the images that I use, but in the phrases that I'm using to go along with those images. So now that I've done all of that, I know that I want kind of the aesthetic for this year to be green, very vibrant, kind of emerald greens, lime greens. Last year, you could see that my previous year's vision board was very teal, but I know that I want everything to kind of have a green theme this year. And as I already said, some of the things that I'm focusing on representing in this vision board are things like health, things like time outdoors, things like fitness, things like friendships, things like relationships. And one of the things I wanted to make sure I did just to kind of make sure I keep this in mind is to pull up last year's vision board. I had a lot of good themes represented on this and I want to make sure I get those themes represented again. So really I use Canva's image search for the vast majority of this. Since I build this inside of Canva, using Canva's images makes it so much easier. So I don't have to pop around and import things from Pinterest or from other places. But you can see I'm kind of ping-ponging back and forth between my old vision board and my new one, pulling in images that really just jump out at me and have that kind of green aesthetic that I want them to have. So a lot of things about adventure, a lot of things about relationships and friendships, a lot of things about success in my business. So really that's what I spend the majority of this time doing. And I will just play around with where those images are located, how well I feel like those images fit with the other images around them, so on and so forth. So really that's a lot of what this process is about, is experimenting with the different images that I find depending upon what I'm searching for, and then also just kind of seeing how it looks with everything else. And as I work through this process, you're going to see more and more that this really starts to come together. One of the other things that I really found as I was working through this is that I like to kind of just capture some different green textures and whatnot. You'll see I smiled when I pulled in that green tile texture because I actually found a tile like this when I was in Morocco back in 2018. I remember taking a picture of the tile and saying I'm going to have it in my bathroom one day. So when I saw that green tile image, I definitely wanted to add that one. But you can see there's various textures happening here. They don't all have to be images that necessarily represent a goal or a vision. Sometimes there's just images that feel calming and feel relaxing, like the bamboo and like the leaves. I'm a big hiker. I really like to get outdoors. so sometimes just capturing that in the imagery that I have in my vision board really helps to represent that. You might even see that I periodically start bopping around with the music I'm listening to. I really try to make this kind of a fun process. So I personally put on the playlist, the greatest soundtracks of all time playlist on Spotify, which I can also go ahead and link down in the description below. But it's really just kind of pulling in images that jump out at me, pulling in images that I like. And you'll see as I go through this, some of the images that I pull in, they may not be in the final product, but I kind of just let myself play. I gave myself about an hour to do this. So this is obviously like a trimmed down and accelerated version of what I did, but I'm just playing around and seeing what feels right, what looks right, and what really captures the aesthetic that I know I want to have and the kind of feel and vision that I have for my year. Not all of your images have to be vision related, don't have to be goal related. Sometimes some of the images you might put into your vision board just capture the mood that you're going for and the mood that you want for your upcoming year. The more I did this, the more I realized that I was putting a lot of nature related things into my vision board. And I think that's because that's something that I want going into 2024. I want health. I want new connections and new relationships. I want adventures and experiences, but I also want a lot of time outside. And that really started to come across the more I started building this vision board. At one point in this process, I had every single image in the image board filled in, but I kind of started to realize that even though I had it filled in, I didn't necessarily like all of the images, and I didn't necessarily feel like all of the images captured what I wanted them to capture. So kind of strategically went back through, deleted some of the ones that didn't quite feel like they were what I wanted them to be, and really started filling them in with some more strategic things. Like, for example, I wanted some things to be more representative of my business and the business focus that I have this year and the business success I want to create this year. As I dive into more full-time entrepreneurship and business ownership, I wanted to make sure my vision board captured that and represented that, because that's going to be a huge focus and a big thing that I'm going to be working toward this year is building up my business and making, this switch to full-time is very, very important and meaningful for me. And I wanted to make sure my vision board captured that. This final pass, I'm really, really happy with how things turned out. I feel like it's a good balance of visual images that are both calming and relaxing, that remind me of nature, but also remind me a lot of the experiences that I want to create this year. So once I'm done, I went ahead and I downloaded it. And then I add the image to my desktop. So you can kind of see in this guy here that I have my old vision board from last year, which was very, very kind of bright blue and very teal, but the same layout in a lot of ways as my vision board this year. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to move this year's vision board out of the downloads folder because I want it to be somewhere that's permanent on my desktop into my pictures folder. And then I'm going to go ahead and assign it to my desktop background. This is the desktop background I use all year, because I want to make sure I'm constantly keeping those visions and those goals at the forefront. Then what I go ahead and do is I also add that same vision board to my iPad. As well as add that same vision board to the cover for my phone. So the vision board is really everywhere. That's why I spend, a good chunk of time creating it, because this is going to be the visual imagery that reminds me of what I'm working for, what I care about over the course of this year on every digital device that I use. This is a big way that I do my vision board, and also how I keep those values, as I mentioned, at the forefront in my life. And with that, we are done. I hope you enjoyed sitting down to vision board with me. I love creating vision boards, and I love creating a vision board that has kind of a color theme, then that really is just a total visual representation of what my focuses are and what my goals are for 2024. I haven't even set my goals yet, but I've got a pretty good idea what the big priorities are, and I'm pumped that you came along. Once again, if you haven't checked out any of those links that are down below, I have got links to all of my Canva templates down there that you are welcome to steal, as well as a link to my newly updated free Notion digital planner, which got a massive facelift because I wanted to not only give you a Notion system, but also give you access to some of my favorite burnout and stress management tools, habits, resources, tactics, so that you can implement them for yourself. But once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions, go ahead and drop them below. I'd love to hear about how you vision board. What are some of your favorite places to find images? And with that, thank you, my friend, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.